is all about dimensions. Have you ever met someone from a higher dimension? A spirit, a ghost? And have you ever wondered, what does a higher dimensional world look like? In this video, we will try to understand what objects or beings from higher dimensions might look like. तो इस वीडियो को समझने के लिए you have to understand that there are two types of dimensions. One, spatial dimensions or space dimensions. For example, x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, and the other is time dimension. This video is all about the spatial dimensions, and we will understand what a fourth dimensional world will look like. So first things first, ये dimension होता क्या है? Simply put, number of dimensions is the number of measurements we can take for an object. For example, this thing I have here, we can measure its length, breadth and height. So we can say it has 3 dimensions. तो 4D पे jump करने से पहले first we'll understand what are 0, 1, 2 and 3D objects. 0D, no length, no breadth, no height, just a point. 1D, a line. We can only calculate its length and the object can move back and forth on this line only. 2D, a flat surface. We can calculate the object's length as well as its breadth. For example, the flat screen of a phone. The phone screen can be considered a 2D object placed inside a 3D body. 3D. We can calculate the object's length, breadth and height. We live in a 3D world. We can interact with 3D objects. We can actually touch and feel 3D objects. Now coming to the fun part. What do 4D objects look like? Can we actually see them or touch them? Well, partially yes, partially no. To understand this, first we'll understand how a 3D object will behave in a lower dimensional world, which is a 2D world. Then we can compare how a 4D object will behave in our 3D world. So let's begin. You are a 3D being, and right now you're looking at a 2D world. In here lives a 2D being. He is looking at a 2D object, which is a square. For you, it looks like a square, right? But what does a square look like to the 2D being? He does not see the complete square. Instead, he sees a line. No matter where the square is placed inside his world, he will only be able to see the outline of the square. But since you are a higher dimensional being, you can actually see the whole square, the inside as well as the outside of it. First conclusion we can make from this is that a higher dimensional being can see the inside as well as the outside of an object. So let's assume you're looking at something in your own world. You can only see the outside of this object. But a 4-dimensional being will be able to see the outside as well as inside of the object. But ऐसा हो कैसे सकता है? This is so hard to interpret because our eyes are accustomed to see only the outside of an object. And the thought that you can see the outside and the inside of an object at once might be a bit crazy to us. Okay, so let's talk about what a 4D object will look like to us. Going back to the 2D world. So here is a 3D figure. What will happen if I pass this 3D figure to the 2D world where the 2D being lives? What will he see? Will he see the whole 3D figure? No. He will only be able to see the part of the 3D object which is present in his world at that moment. Here is an animation of what it looks like in his world when I pass this 3D figure through it. This is what this 2D guy sees. So, in his 2D world, an object appears, grows in size, shrinks and finally disappears. The same effect will be observed when a 4D object will be passing through a 3D world. So, कोई चीज अचानक से दिखती है फिर गायब हो जाती है. ऐसा कभी हुआ है आपके साथ? You guessed it right. No wonder people say spirits live in higher dimensions. There have been several instances where people have reported the sudden appearance and disappearance of ghosts and UFOs and whatnot. Who knows, maybe they've come to visit Earth from their 4D world. That's it for today. Hope you learned something from this video and thanks for watching.